Good morning, everyone. Welcome. If you would bow your heads for prayer, please. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this another wet, great day in Southern Illinois. Ask you to look over this board and guide us and direct us in making decisions for all the people of Union County. We ask you to protect our first responders every day as they put their lives on the line. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lance, would you do the roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Harville.
Here.
Commissioner Pitts. Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Bierstedt.
Here.
Commissioner Gould.
Here.
Quorum.
Having a quorum, we'll open the meeting, call the meeting to order. First item, approval of minutes, our regular meeting held March 10th, 2023. Any questions, concerns?
Commissioner Harville.
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstedt.
Yes.
Commissioner Gould.
Next item, public comments. Anyone? So you're aware, if you're here to discuss anything, this is going to be at your time to do it.
So is that me, because I'm on the agenda farther down for the show?
No, I'm just saying if you're not on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the item on the agenda, you can just.
All right, committee reports.
We had our Southern Five Planning Commission meeting the other Tuesday, and I'm proud to say that the Werewolf Lake Fire Department was awarded a $26,000 grant for their small equipment purchases. And they're still working, waiting the award for the new steps and handrails up at Village and Alto Pass, and I would like to give an update on the sewer system up there. It's, I'd say it's 70 to 80% complete. And so, yeah, maybe sometime later in the year it'll be done.
Okay.
Shawnee Development. Jeff, I'm gonna bring this up. You gotta make a phone call to Dina down at Shawnee Development to get the information. But the federal government has approved the IRT, which is an interactive response team, to come to Union County in June. And that's part of the military group, and they're gonna bring like 80 military people to provide care to the citizens of the Shawnee Development District, like dental care and all that. I guess in the past, they've always taken it down to Charleston or Carroll or Olmsted, but they decided to bring it to Union County, and they'll be using the high school for their housing, and this will be, I think, like 10 or 12 days that they're going to be here. And so, you know, for our citizens in Union County, it'll be really easy access for them versus going someplace. But it's been released, the information, you know, I can get from Dean.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody? Building permits.
You got two. First one's at 550 Body Barn Road in Anna for Randall and Lana Wazalewski. Looks like a pole barn. It's recommended for approval. You can see that. The other one is at 6100 New Saratoga Road for a pole barn for Tim and Kendra Denny. Parcel number 0208000721H. But that one is also recommended for approval. Jeff was here, I'd ask him for a conflict of interest on that, but
Yeah. Absolutely.
you guys looked at that one good.
I appreciate getting those emails in advance.
Yeah, that
It
looks
makes
up
it a
there.
little easier.
Any questions on the building permits? Give a motion to approve.
Make a motion to.
I'll second. Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
We have nothing under old business, new business. First item, approved payment of bills. Everybody have a chance to look at the bill list.
I've got a quick question, I don't know if it can be answered. There's one payment on our bills that's to a local lube shop. And I know it's a minuscule amount, but does the county highway do their own maintenance for all the county vehicles, or who exactly does?
County Highway Department does some maintenance on their vehicles. All the rest of them, sheriff's cars, ambulance, stuff like that, they put them out to local
Okay.
establishments.
Thank you. I just need to know that. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Yes.
Item B, approval of contract for Cypress Road, St. John's Road resurfacing. We approved this back in December. At that time, Southern Illinois Asphalt was the bidder, got the contract. Since then, Simons has purchased Southern Illinois Asphalt. So basically, this is just reapproving the contract. Finally got this week from Springfield on the approval since it's new owner and so forth. So we're kind of doing it over. We have to do it over since they have a new owner. So, and this is scheduled to start next week, by the way. So,
I'm assuming the bid price is still the same?
yeah, nothing changed.
Just the name.
Just the names on the paperwork. And I've got to sign it 84 times.
So do I.
Make a motion to go with it.
So I second that.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Item C, redeploy DHS application and budget. This is done annually, and this fine young lady has to put together a budget so we can keep these grants. I don't remember what year redeploy was started.
2014.
Yeah, I was thinking it right when I got here. Judge Edmonds was a big part of getting this program started at that time, and he was an attorney. And it's a great program with kids. I'll let you go ahead. We have to approve each one of these subcontracts if everybody remembers every year, so just a matter of going through it.
I'll make it short and sweet. My name is Becky Pierce. I'm the director for the program Redeploy Illinois. It's a Department of Human Services grant. And since we have a new commissioner, I'm just going to do a little information about the grant. So we serve youth 13 to 17 years old who are at medium to high risk of commitment to the Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice. So rather than going to the juvenile justice, they'll be referred to us, and we can provide them with services to treat their traumas in their life. We give them counseling, we can put them in work programs, get them ready for adulthood, and this saves the state of Illinois hundreds of thousands of dollars each year. There's multiple redeploy sites all over the state of Illinois. So I cover the First Circuit. So what you have in front of you is the budget template. It looks a little bit different this year. The form that we were doing before is basically this, just a little less detailed, so I thought it'd be easier to just print out this template for you. You will notice at the bottom, we'll skip around on pages. The pages that we don't ask for any budget in I just took those pages out, so it's not a waste of time. In fiscal year 23, our goal was to serve 70 clients, and as of this month, we have served 69, so we will be at our budgeted number for what we set aside last year. In this upcoming fiscal year, I think we're gonna bump that number up to 80 because we've seen such an increase in referrals over this fiscal year. So the very first page that you'll see is just a summary of the budgets. So that's page 1 of 27, but I'm going to start on page 7. Page 7 shows the personnel. So there's myself, the director, and Julia Hayward, the client care coordinator. Julia handles all of the youth client files. She keeps contact between the probation officers and the courts, and she is basically our middleman for the program. So Julia has a lot of work specifically with the subcontractors and the counselors, and she coordinates a lot of the appointments and transportation for the clients. So right here at the bottom, you'll see the total personnel. There's also a narrative at the bottom of each page where I've just broken it down a little bit to explain further in detail. The next page is page 8 of 27. This is the fringe benefits. So this includes the health insurance coverage, taxes, and IMRF collection for Julia and I. This also includes vision and life, dental, workers' comp, and unemployment. And the dates that we're covering is July 1st, 2023 to June 30th of 2024. That is the fiscal year. Page 9 of 27 shows travel. Julia and I travel throughout the First Circuit, whether this is attendance at judges' meetings, this is meeting with attorneys, the clients, our subcontractors. We have it drawn out between the director mileage, the client care coordinator mileage, as well as both of our mileage for a all sites meeting. What that is all the redeploy sites will gather in Bloomington twice a year. The next page is page 11 of 27, and this goes over the supplies for redeploy. This is considered office supplies. So this is including but not limited to toner, paper, pens, binders, business cards, education materials. This year, Julia has a laptop right now. She doesn't have a desk set up. So this year we're going to be adding in a docking station, keyboard, mouse, and monitor for her to plug her laptop into. The next page is page 12 of 27, and these are contractual services. So these are the subcontractors that treat all of our clients. So first we have Jewel Psychological. He provides the psychological evaluations and the fitness evaluations for the youth. Next we have Egyptian Health Department. This is a continuing subcontract from last year. They provide mental health services. Advanced Transportation is the next one. They provide transportation for all of our clients across the First Circuit. They have been wonderful for us. The next one is Stress and Trauma Treatment Center. They provide a work program. They provide counseling services and wraparound treatment for our clients. They have been wonderful for us as well because they will travel to the client's home to take away the stress of the client not being able to get there should transportation not be available or the family not be able to take them. Next, we have Choices Counseling. They provide services for our youth. In regards to sex offenses, we brought them on for the first time last year because we did not have a counselor who provided that in our area, and they have done very well so far. They see 3 of our clients right now, and we've seen tremendous success with them, and are excited to contract with them again. Next, we have Progressive Life Counseling. This is a new one for us this year. They provide mental health services. This includes substance abuse, individual counseling. The thing about Progressive Life is they are primarily through telecommunication. They rarely do in-person visits. This was something that was a little concerning to me because of how we want to make sure that the clients log on and that they get into their appointments. And I talked to the Second Circuit Redeploy, and they contracted with Progressive Life last year and have seen tremendous success. And she reassured me that it was not always the time for them. So we are hoping to see success with Progressive Life this year, and that is the only new subcontractor that is going to be providing services. Next, you see we have an internship. This is new as well. It's under contractual services because we're signing a contract with Southern Illinois University for this. internship, but we are going to be working with the Advanced Standing Social Work Program and working with their master's level students to come to redeploy, see what we do, get into the courtrooms, witness the client files. It kind of gives them the real life experience of what they're getting ready to go into. And these will also be students that could potentially work with redeploy clients in the future. The last one is Aerolief. We were subcontracted with them last year. They provide services for our youth as well, mental health. They're primarily see our clients in Johnson County, but they travel as well, and they're more than happy to see them in their homes if they need to. There's a detailed description for the bottom of page 12 and all of page 13 for contractual services. The next page is occupancy. This is for the redeploy office that's in Anna. It's 515 East Vienna Street. Next is page 19. This is telecommunications. This covers the director and client care coordinator's cell phone, the internet and fax machine at the office, and then we also have security cameras, and then the Mayor Network's privacy fee. The next page, page 20 of 27, is the training and education. We have online tutors and anger management courses for our youth, and we've had a few youth take advantage of that this past year, or if they were recommended through the courts to take anger management classes, they come to our office and we can log them on, and it gives them a certificate to give to the courts. And the next one is the Kids Courts and Schools. This is a conference that we will be hosting with the Second Circuit. And this is not only Juvenile Justice Council, but also redeploying. So you'll see the funds set aside for the training, education, and networking of the Kids Courts and Schools conference we'll be hosting. The next page, page 22, is miscellaneous. So what they call these for redeploy are the flex funds. So this primarily goes to the clients, the stakeholders, and the families. So the first one, you'll see client and family engagement. This is for family assistance, whether this is rent payment or one-time cell phone bill or anything that could help, groceries that could help the family get ahead. This is not something that we will continue to pay for them throughout the year, but a one-time thing we are more than happy to help with to get them on their feet or get them going, and primarily goes to the family rather than the client. The gas cards and the cell phone cards and phone cards go to the client. Those do not go to the families. This just helps ensure that the clients have a way to communicate with the counselors, to communicate with us, and to have a ride if they have their own vehicle. And then we have GED testing and support. This is for the clients who are no longer in school that are interested in doing GED classes. And then marketing incentives and supplies, that is for the clients, the families, as well as our stakeholders. And then the very last page that you see is the indirect costs. So the county is able to get 10% of each category. This excludes occupancy and subcontract amounts over $25,000. So you'll see it broken down each description, and then how much the base is, how much we're asking for, and then 10% of that. So the indirect costs that come to the county, you'll see in the very, very last column. And that is all I have for you guys. You guys have any questions?
How many kids do you expect over 80 this year, since we're got a couple of months or so?
It's so hard. It's hard to determine like what we're going to end up reaching. Since we're at 69 right now, I really expect to be in the high 70s by time June 30th comes around, because we're seeing a steady influx of referrals, primarily from Jackson County, Williamson County, and Saline County are our largest ones. And right now we have 12 pending clients. So what a pending client is, we have a screening tool called the YASI, and that determines whether they are redeploy eligible or not. So we have 12 clients that are not considered in that number of 69 that may or may not become redeployed clients. So if every single one of them do, then we'll be over that amount that we're really going to be shooting for next year. And if that's the case, then I'll bump it up in our fiscal year 24 plans, because we'll have already reached that this year.
So the total budget is 777,000,
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
How much is that over what we did this past year?
It's actually under about, it was a couple $100 under. We subcontracted with one contractor and we ended up not using them this year. It was something that we thought would be really, really great. And everything that they offered was very, very well, but we didn't end up sending a lot of clients to them, and the ones that we did send, they were not able to pick up. So we were taking them off and adding on Progressive Life. And so some of those funds that we didn't use, we were able to, move around in the contractual where we ended up using more funds that we needed. So we took away some funds of line items and added to others, and it ended up being a little bit under.
Again, I think this is a great program. I mean, if you get 10 or 12 kids out of jail, it's worth every dollar of it, so appreciate your.
What do you think your success rate is on this?
So there's 3 ways that I measure success primarily. That is, the primary reason that they brought Redeploy to Illinois was to keep youth out of IBJJ.
Right.
So our baseline number that they don't want us to send over to Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice is 9, and we have not sent one yet.
Cool.
So that's a really, really good success rate. And also how many clients we serve. Like I said, we were on track to serve over 70, and 70 is what we put in the contract. And then what I mentioned, the Yazzie, whenever they are leaving our program, we give them another Yazzie to compare the first one to the last one to see how their success rate is. And what they look for is an increase in protective factors and a decrease in risk factors. So that's another way for us to measure success is did they increase in protective and decrease in risk.
Good.
So it's going
That's real
going
good.
very well so far.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, that makes it work.
it does. It does.
So once you reach your limit, are they done? So if our limit was 80, do you ever turn them away?
Nope. No, we have some redeploy sites in the state. Every redeploy site does it a little bit different, and we have not turned away one single person yet for redeploy. There's a couple sites in the state that have turned away, or they have them on a waiting list, but we have not done that yet in the First Circuit.
Again, I want to congratulate you. You did a great job. We appreciate you.
We appreciate it.
This budget's a lot of work.
Yes.
Hypothetically, if you were to have to turn somebody away, what would happen to them?
So this is a perfect example. When a client is referred to us and they are not eligible for redeploy, we don't just drop them off and good luck, wish you the best. We actually call CCBYS, which is a provider who takes low-risk youth, and they're located in Saline County and Johnson County. So we'll take that referral, work with the family and the probation officer, and set them up with CCBYS for their services, rather than just saying, sorry, we can't accept you. We help them through that process to make sure that they do get assistance. So if for some reason we were maxed out at numbers or overloaded or we couldn't accept anybody, we would work with surrounding agencies to get them the services that they need.
That's good. You don't want anybody slipping.
No,
through the
we do
cracks.
not. No.
That's good.
Any other questions? We'll go through the list of vendors here and,
You need to approve the budget though.
You have to approve the vendors first before you.
Well, you're gonna go in order of your agenda.
yeah, I make a motion that we approve the budget as presented, for redeploy for the coming year.
I'll say it.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Included in this budget, first item, redeploy subcontract agreement, stress and trauma center. That she went through, I'm not gonna go back and go through the amount for each one of them. I think they all total about 500 and some odd thousand. I'll make a motion, we approve the subcontract with stress and trauma and treatment center.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Item E, I make a motion, we approve the subcontract agreement with the Egyptian Health Department.
Second.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Item F, I make a motion, we approve the redeploy subcontract with Aeroleaf.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Item G, make a motion, we approve the redeploy subcontract with Jewel Psychological Services.
Second.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Yes.
Item H, I make a motion, we approve the redeploy subcontract with Advanced Transportation.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Item I make a motion, we approve the redeploy subcontract with Choice Counseling.
Second.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Item J, make a motion, we approve the redeploy subcontract agreement with Progressive Life Counseling, LLC.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Item K, education affiliation agreement, redeploy Illinois. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gould?
Look forward to doing it again this time next year.
Thank you. Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
None of these funds come out of the county. This
Right.
is primarily through the state of Illinois, so I just want to make sure you
Yeah, it's all,
are aware.
pretty much all grant money.
Yes,
So,
it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, item L, Shawnee National Forest discussion, J.D. Mathis and Justin Lawrence. You're up.
Well, Justin had to work today,
Oh, okay.
and it's hard to follow her. She was prepared. I'm sorry, I'm saying I'm not a public speaker. My name's J.D. Mathis. I represent the Associated Saddle Clubs of Southern Illinois. We consist of 22 clubs with several thousand members, and I'm also representing the Shawnee Trail Conservancy. I'm just here to talk to you guys today about some of you may be aware of it already, some of you may not. The proposal to change the Shawnee National Forest into a national park and climate preserve. Okay? And we feel that this will be devastating to Southern Illinois if this happens. Union County holds more Shawnee Forest land, is the second largest actually. You guys got it, the second largest amount of Shawnee Forest. If it becomes a national park, if you do your research, you'll find out that just about every national park, there's no hunting. If there is horseback riding, it's very limited, or none at all. There's a lot of parks out there, Great Smoky Mountains, you gotta have permits, you can't pick mushrooms in a national park. And we feel that this is just gonna kill the economy for Southern Illinois. There's per the U.S. Forest Service now, there's approximately 1 million people, tourists, hunters, horseback riders that visit Shawnee every year. Okay? The group that's presenting this, and they're well-spoken, they're educated, and they've got a little slideshow. They're saying nothing's gonna change. I can't see from our studies how we'd be the only national park that allowed all this stuff that they're telling us gonna happen. You know, we're just afraid it's what's gonna happen. It's a group of activists, that, they're saying they're local citizens, but when you go to their website, you'll see that they're a global, it's a bunch of globalists is what it is. They fight global and social issues all over the world. Everything from doing away with the death penalty to timbering in Africa, Brazil. It's just, it's a radical group. They even describe themselves as the ecological anarchist, I believe it is. So,
What's the name of the group?
actually, the name of their group is very interesting. I wish we had it. Shawnee Defense. Shawnee Defense. I'll give you a website here. Yeah, Shawnee Defense.
.com.
.org. Yeah. Well, I'll give you some paperwork. Like I say, I'm not prepared. My cohort that's working today is much more prepared than I am. But it's ShawneeDefense.org. There's a lot of things that we're also concerned about. Eminent domain is probably the most concerning to me. I own land that's next to the Shawnee National Forest, and I don't want to sell it, for any price. And when they come in and create a new Shawnee Forest now is so fractured. There's so much people that owns land in and around Shawnee National Forest. We're concerned that they're gonna use eminent domain and take it. And that's a very strong possibility. If that happens, your tax base is gonna go away too. So it's a lot to think about for the counties. Eminent domain was used when they created the Shenandoah National Park, Mammoth Cave, Great Smoky Mountains. There was a lot of problems down there when they took all those people's land and created the park. They also used eminent domain to create land between the lakes down there. There was 800 families there that had to move out. So this has happened in the past. It hadn't happened since the 60s, but it can happen. The Shawnee National Forest is run right now by the Department of Agriculture. They want to switch over to the Department of Interior, which will change everything. I don't know, Union County, I'm sure, do you have a contract with the Forest Service and draw money for patrolling the roads? I mean, I don't know, I have no idea how many roads you've got over here. I mean, this is a small county, but every little bit helps. So that'll be a little bit out of your budget too. I have no idea what you draw. Well, I'm not, I'm just making you, saying what you can lose, I don't know about how much you guys receive from Shawnee or from PILT right now. I'm sure it's thousands and thousands of dollars. And I'm not sure if that'll go away if it changes either, but that's something to look into. I'm sure it's up there close to 75 to 100,000. So.
When do they want to do this?
Their tentative date right now, they've been working at this actively for the last year and a half. They're wanting this done by May of next year. And will literally take an act of Congress, but what we're concerned is they'll slide this into another bill and it'll pass at 2 a.m. just like
Most everything else.
yeah. So it's really scary.
Is it have to be voted on by Congress?
Yes.
Okay, so it can't be executive order or anything like that,
Not that I know of. I think it'll have to go, it'll be Congress that'll do it.
Okay.
Have you spoken with Boss?
Yes, I have. I had a sit-down meeting with him a month ago, and he is 110% against this. Back when he told back when he had the trucking company, when he's hauling rock into a timber site, there was a group of people that dug a hole in the road and buried themselves up to their neck.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to spread over them, but they wouldn't let him, so. But he's 110%, in opposition to this. Duckworth we called her office yesterday, and she's not making a comment. She's not saying what she's gonna do either way. It's our understanding, I do not know this for sure, but supposedly Dick Durbin is in favor of this. So.
Imagine that. I'm with you on this, I'm in the Shawnee National Forest all the time myself, I live down there, and, we have land that in Shawnee National Forest too.
Yeah.
Because I'm an ag forestman, I ride down there all the time. But, and that would be a financial impact, but, as a county, what do you think we would do?
Well,
Have you talked to Carol Hoffman with tourism?
I do not know that name.
So on tourism, you need to talk to Carol Hoffman. Daryl's on.
I've spoken with Rhonda Belford, which is, she's over what is it, Ohio River Scenic Byway or something like that. But yeah, I'll,
Get a hold of her, she's out
Yeah.
of Show.
Chamber of Commerce too.
you know, like I say, it's gonna be a big store, everybody that lives in Union County, or anybody, any county for that matter. You know, you might take your grandkids out squirrel hunting in a certain area, you might get around in a certain area. If it becomes a national park, you're just gonna sit and look at it, and it could be in your backyard, if they don't take your backyard. What we've been doing is going around from county to county, we've got a lot of support. We're asking for you guys to pass a resolution and send a letter to Mike Boss, Dick Durbin, Tammy Duckworth, and we're also sending them to Patrick Windhorst and Dale Fowler. You know, I encourage everybody to research this. Look at it. If you go to their website, they got a Mythbuster page on there. It's a very good website, very informative. They're speaking in half truths. Google right now, I never thought in my lifetime I'd say Google was a good thing, but Google national parks and look at your horseback riding. They're saying that there's horseback riding in most of the national parks. Well, a lot of them there are, but there may only be, there's some of them that's only got one trail or two trails, or you rent their horses from a contractor. You don't take your own. There's just a lot that we do here now for free, and that's something else. If it becomes a national park, there will be fees implemented. So we can drive these roads, we can hunt these woods and everything right now for free. That's all gonna change.
I just put that address in my phone, so I remember to look at it. But,
Yeah.
you know, this organization sounds a lot bigger than just,
Yeah, like I say, when you go to that and they're gonna want you to send donations, well, they're going to Buffalo, New York. Okay, that's where your money's gonna go, but it's a global,
mission.
group, yeah. So it's kind of scary, but if you go to research, like I say, Google National Park, ask it if you can hunt in this park, ask it if you can ride horses in this park. Then if it does say you can ride horses, see how many miles are available, or, you know, whether you can bring your own, or more than likely you'll have to rent them. The Shawnee National Forest is at a teetering point right now. They're trying, the Forest Service is trying to keep the Shawnee at Old Hickory stand, okay? There's a study that just came out of SIU that says possibly in the next 20 to 25 years, the Shawnee is gonna convert over to a birch maple stand, which if the oak and hickory go away, the wildlife goes away. The wildlife goes away, people's not gonna wanna come here from Missouri and Kentucky to pay big money to hunt. This group has been doing this for 35 or more years in Southern Illinois. I had somewhere I was going with that and I lost it. But it's Sam Stearns, John Wallace, and Les Winkler. Sam Stearns and John Wallace also filed a lawsuit in 1999 to stop equestrian use in the Shawnee National Forest. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of who we're dealing with. Sam Stearns and John Wallace also stopped the city of Marion from getting the watershed lake in, in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Sugar Creek deal. Everybody remembers that? So that's just who we're dealing with. You know, do your research. I just feel that Union County's got a lot to lose.
Well, we appreciate you bringing this to us. Obviously, we can't take any action today, as I told you.
No, yeah.
Communicate with you, but we will take it under consideration. The National Forest is a tremendous asset to Union County,
Absolutely.
and I think we discuss this, come up and do our part as far as voicing our opinion.
I mean,
Knowing that it's not our choice, if we are.
no, it's not.
Unfortunately,
But
but
we're just trying to show support. I mean, like I say, we've got Johnson, Houghton, Hardin, Williamson County. That's county boards that we've got. White County's supposed to be coming on in opposition to this too with us. We're really hoping to have Union and Alexander.
I'm pretty sure you will, so I don't know about Alexander, but.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just speaking.
Well, they've got quite a bit of land in
Oh, yeah.
there too, yeah.
So that's Jackson, have you spoken with the Jackson County?
Carbondale was the first city, there's only been two in Southern Illinois that signed on and passed a resolution in support of this. It's my understanding that Carbondale has been promised a new welcome center. If this goes through, then their line that they're telling everybody, well, when you walk in the door, there'll be somebody there to greet you, hand you a map and help you in any way they can. Well, evidently they've never walked into a Forest Service office now, because that's what happens here now. But they did sign one, and the village of Carrier Mills, Illinois, and I'm not sure how that happened. But supposedly the mayor signed the letter, but the other councilman wasn't there. And that's how that came about. So they've only got two cities in Southern Illinois, but we've got all the counties and most of the cities. I've got a stack of these letters. I'm gonna leave you a few if I could. Sample letters, if you decide to, that'll give you something to go by.
Okay, appreciate it.
And also a mission statement that we've come up with. This is, our contact information, and, there's me on the back.
Would you have a problem with us getting somebody from the Park Service? We could ask them some questions in here.
Sir, I don't mind who you ask.
What do you think, Max?
Well, I don't know, we'll just have to discuss this and see.
More than likely, I'm gonna tell you the reason Forest Service is not here presenting this themselves, they're a government entity, and they really can't speak. I think you're gonna find that.
Yeah.
Openly,
I'm more interested in the Park Service, since they would be the one.
they're a government entity, and I don't think they can speak openly.
I would advise the board to do their homework on this.
I would too. I hope you do, because
Yeah, I
There's
remember.
a lot of things entailed, I think, in this, you know, it's like, what's your opinion on the low-cost timber sales?
well, I'm not opposed to timber sales. The Shawnee's not in the business to make money. John Wallace actually done a podcast, not just the other day, and he spoke about, some of the timber sales in the past, where the Department of Forestry lost so much money. Back when they had those 79 days, they paid themselves the trees and the log skippers.
I mean, even aside from that, you know, by the time they go in there and they mark out a section of trees, and by the time that they actually have the contractor come in there and cut them,
Mm-hmm.
the government has more money in it than they get out. The taxpayers are.
Well, a lot of that is these people that's fighting this, there's so much, it's so expensive, there's lawsuits and everything else, and that's where I was going with that, when he talks about that, how much money the Forest Service lost on this one particular timber sale. But he talks that there was $600,000 in law enforcement costs. Well, the reason there was $600,000 in law enforcement costs was you had a group of protesters there changing themselves to the trees and everything for 79 days, so they had to have many law enforcement there 24 hours a day. So there's a lot that goes into it. A national park is into preservation. The Forest Service is into conservation and multi-use recreation, whether it be from hunting to, but it's just two totally different entities. So yes, I recommend everybody study it, but if you go to their website, they're gonna give you all these links. That's the reason I suggest Google, because you're going to a biased site. Google it, and make your own decision. And I think when you Google it and ask all these questions yourself, not off their website or off where I'm telling you to go, other than Google, you'll come to the right conclusion.
I'm gonna help you out with something else too, another angle.
Mhm.
I'm on the executive committee for the Tennessee Walking Horse Breeders Association.
Mhm.
I'm also, the executive committee for the Racking Horse Breeders Association.
Yeah.
I was president. I will get you support from both of those breeds of horses as well to say that we do not in favor of that happening as well.
Thank you.
So get with me and I'll get something put together for that too.
Uh,
We've also got some lobbyist firms that we work with quite a bit. I can run that down the pipe there to them as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully get some lobbyist help.
I will leave you one more thing if I could, is economic impact study.
That's the other thing I was gonna say. That's a biggie for the
This
county.
is unbelievable. When you sit and look at these numbers, and there's websites on there to verify everything that I'm telling you. So I'm not here to lie to you, I'm just here to inform you. I want you to make your own educated opinion on it. It scares me to death. And I think that a lot of you will see, there's nothing really good that comes from a national park.
Do find out where Southern Illinois Tourism stands. That's Carol Hoffman.
Yeah,
Because
She can provide a lot of information too with economic
Yeah,
impact. There's been
yeah.
studies, especially deer hunting weekend, for God's sake. That's huge, both the weekends for.
they're promising more tourism and everything, and there may be more tourists come in, but I think the offset of losing your hunters and your horseback riders and your mountain bikers, and horseback riders and mountain bikers have always been at odds, and we probably always will be. But we're all coming together for this cause here, because we'll fight our battles between ourselves later, but, there's just so much to lose. And there's nothing to gain, other than paying fees and restrictions. So, what was your name?
Lance Meisneimer.
Well, it tells me that Carbondale and Jackson County are for this, then there's a problem, so.
What's that, sir?
Nothing.
I'm sorry, I can't write and call it.
Jackson County's different than Carbondale.
Yeah, we're going to Jackson County.
Yeah.
That's kind of gonna be our last, and that's our hope that we can take, when we can take all these letters up there, support, like I say, Larry Richardson, Polk County, Matt Hayden, Johnson County, you can call any of those commissioners, Jim Marlowe, Williamson County, give him a call.
Yeah, you get my support. Have they, got a date set for vote or anything yet?
Not right now, sir, that I know of, but their tentative date is that they want this done by is May of next year.
Is there a bill introduced, do you know, on the floor
No.
or anything?
Not that I know of.
If that happens, let us know.
Yeah. I suspect this, I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm just here to try to educate people. I just can't stress enough how devastating I think this would be to our way of life.
Like I said, I do know from the horse business side, there's a lot of things that are trying to get pushed through executive orders instead of going through Congress because they couldn't get stuff through Congress. I'll just warn you, that's always a possibility when you're dealing with interior departments like that in the federal government. The bureaucratic way will manage that and take it out of that, and which is, in my eyes, not correct at all.
Yeah.
That's why we have a Congress.
Right.
So I would make sure that doesn't get out and the USDA push something through to go through there or whatever else. You never know where these might land.
Right.
So there's a lot of different angles that they will use
Oh,
to
yeah.
get things done.
Yeah.
Executive orders are what we're concerned with right now in our breeds, with some things that they couldn't get past,
Yeah.
trying to hinder our breed. So I can give you a whole hour-long speech on what to look for and what to watch for and all that. So, but I'll be more happy.
If I could close with one thing, there's a big misconception, and any of you guys that's been out in the woods know, now, at one time, the Shawnee National Forest, the Department of Forestry did do clear cuts. They haven't done that in years. What they do now is a select cut. There is no such thing as a clear cut anymore. The only area that is ever opened up completely is the staging area, where you load your logs in and out, and that's usually around 2 to 5 acres, not over.
when I moved here 35 years ago, Joe Newcomb was the head of the Forest Service. He
Mhm.
gave me a tour of the approach they were taking to timber sales. And at that time, it was clear cut. And there were a lot of local people that would go in and actually take out the smaller trees to completely clear cut it. We probably, everybody probably knows some of them, but then they turned around and changed it. So that's a situation.
The other thing is, a lot of people don't like, the Park Service doesn't use, control burns. If we don't do control burns in Southern Illinois, we're gonna be on the news, it's like California and everywhere else. And the invasive species that comes in. the fire controls the invasive species.
They've been burning quite a bit here lately.
Yeah. I used to not like it either, but you can go back in a week and after that first rain and the turkeys and deer and out there, picking them green sprouts up, so it does help a lot. Maybe not be nice when they're doing it for a day or two, but it's a necessary evil, I guess. But again, I'll close out. I want you to research this, and I think you'll come to the same conclusion that we have.
We appreciate you reaching out to us.
Well,
Appreciate
I thank you for allowing me, and I appreciate your time.
Thanks, sir.
Can I leave, or do I need to stay?
No, you can leave.
All right, I appreciate it, thank you. I want to get out of here. I'm not gonna-
Did a good job for a public speaker, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My nephew's house burned down one of those fires, so it said the house, because there was no controlled burns in Colorado. We're just now starting to rebuild his house.
Thank you. All right, next item, McClure East Cape Public Water District appointment of Jackie Jennings. Her term expires right about now, I think. It's a 5-year term. They have submitted her name to be reappointed. I make a motion that we approve the resolution appointing trustee of the McClure East Cape Public Water District of Jackie Jennings for a 5-year term.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Bierstadt?
Yes.
Mr. Gould? Yes.
Okay, we don't have anything for executive session. Other business, anybody have anything?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Hang on 1 second. I'm trying. Commissioner Harville?
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt?
Yes.
Mr. Gould?
Yes.
9:23.